Jaeger bombs with Johnny's mom. These college drinks, they aren't fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 2 of Jaeger Bombs with Johnny's mom. With me today is Johnny.
Johnny's mom. Oh, shit. No, I always get that fucked up.
No, you're
My
not.
mother is still not invited to this podcast.
Mm-mm.
Nothing personal, mother. It's just that I don't know how you'd handle this.
And I'm Jeff. Hi, how you doing?
Yes, that was all my name.
It's fair.
Have a very long name.
How you feeling today, John?
I'm feeling like I'm about to regret this whole podcast.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna regret it all too, but that's okay. That's the joy of it, right?
Absolutely.
That's the fun of it.
So a couple things I'm going to point out now. One, that's a fucking camera.
Yeah,
That's right. You can visually see us. That's a new one.
You've heard of the tipsy bartender? Well, he's the handsome bartender. How you doing? Oh,
Have you seen the tipsy bartender? Dude's jacked.
I know. He's fucking huge.
And you notice he never drinks the stuff. It's usually like, this is delicious. Someone else drink this because I can't drink it.
Yeah, because I'm on the clock making drinks. Why would I drink myself? Or do you know how much sugar is in that rum? There's no way I'm going to... These arms.
Well, that's the thing. He makes basically what we're doing this season. It's going to be a riff on college cocktails or college drinks. Mm-hmm. So the idea is we had a bunch of themes we were throwing around, one of them being tiki drinks, but just it's a lot more work than I realized. So we dumbed it down.
Yeah.
This time we're gonna do college drinks. So it's sort of there's a list of 10 drinks you can Google, and it's like Jaeger bombs, which thematically works, and all these different shitty college drinks like Gatorade and Spirit, like spiked Gatorade.
Excuse me?
Just Gatorade and vodka, basically.
Why
Stuff like
would
that.
you do that?
Yeah.
I guess it's to keep yourself hydrated to avoid a hangover.
Exactly. It's basic college logic or college party logic.
That is college. That is so disgusting.
Yeah.
Please make me a promise on air right now. Don't ever make me put Natty Light in my mouth.
You figure out that the beers.
I will cancel the podcast right away.
You know what they just?
That's the
Natty...
Tears Over Beers drink.
Oh, okay.
And you add spirits to. Oh God.
This could be a thing.
Inspired by modern baseball.
We're gonna do a whole modern baseball theme. I like it. Drexel style. All right. So this episode we're doing the Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey as the first one. Now Fireball, which we all know, was a delicious, wonderful cinnamon whiskey that turns out originally was owned by the Seagram's company in the 1980s. Now the thing about that blows my mind is that I didn't know it was that old. And you're saying that you were surprised that it was that
I thought it was
early.
much older than that, yeah. Because I know Fireball's been around for ages, and it seems like adding cinnamon to whiskey is something you would do day one of mixing drinks and making spirits and liqueurs. It seems like such a no-brainer now, but I didn't realize it took forever for this to come around.
Yeah, and to me, though, I remember Fireball being like a big thing when like Sharknado came out, because that's what I used to associate it with.
Sharknado came out.
So we're talking like the 2010s and stuff, so I'm like blown away by how old and how long it's been around. But turns out it's because when Seagram's released it, they released it under the Dr. McGillicuddy's branding, which is the schnapps of like different flavors, like peppermint schnapps, black cherry schnapps,
root beer
schnapps. The sort of like sodas of alcohol was what their theme. I used to have on my keychain a little Dr. McGillicuddy's like mustache.
It was a mustache, yeah.
Because they had like a tasting in one of the Comic-Cons, and I was like, sure. And I never heard of them. Apparently they've been around for fucking forever.
McGillicuddy's has been around forever. Yeah.
So, apparently because the schnapps like thing kind of died out, so people weren't interested in schnapps anymore. So I don't know if McGillicuddy's is even still around anymore.
Yeah.
Are they? Because I haven't seen their name in a while. I haven't seen them in like I want to say 3 or 4 years.
Last year on our vacation to the mountains, I brought a bottle of McGillicuddy's root beer.
That's right. You did.
Yeah.
Okay. Touche. Well, so after Seagram's sold that to, I want to say Sazerac.
Yes.
In the
Sazerac company.
1989.
I believe you're right on the year.
Yeah, 1989, Sazerac company buys Fireball and goes, well, buys Dr. McGillicuddy's and says, well, this thing can stand down on its own. Let's sell this as Fireball instead of Fireball whiskey.
It was rebranded in 2007.
Yes, and that's when the resurgence happened, because that's when I remember Fireball being everywhere. And because they went to Nashville on, was it not Broad Street? What is that street called?
I'm not entirely certain.
I was just there in Nashville, but there's that main street on Nashville that like all the bars are at, and they just go there and they basically like go into bars to bars, and this guy is just marketing and being like, "Hey, drunk ass motherfuckers, here's this new hot new drink," and then everyone goes on and drinks it and becomes the greatest thing that ever happened. Like, it's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's absolutely amazing.
And as you know, I associate it with Sharknado as the shot you take right before or every time something stupid happens in that movie.
Yeah, you have a very unique relationship with Sharknado that I don't fully appreciate, I guess, because I don't... what's the word? I don't understand it.
No, it's
maybe.
terrible. It's mostly masochism,
Yeah.
to put it bluntly.
You just hate yourself.
Yeah, do I? That's why we're doing the shot of Fireball. So right now we're gonna do a shot of Fireball, talk about what it tastes like, talk about what it's like, why we're regretting this, and then as you see in front of me, as you can visually hear in front of me, I also made the cocktail, which I'll go over and how I made it and what it is, and sort of the idea of this whole season is kind of take these shitty ass drinks from like the college party days and turn them into
drinks
something
we had when we were 21, 22, and we're gonna turn them into something we might enjoy in our late 20s, early
exactly
30s.
over 30s. So let's get this shot here done. And,
shut up and drink.
Shut up and drink. I hate that shit.
I have my Monster Rehab Lemonade Chaser here.
Oh yeah, because that's definitely kind of lemonade with cinnamon. Actually, cinnamon lemonade probably would go together. I feel like cinnamon and lemon can go together.
It's literally just something to get it off my tongue. And it's the first drink I had in hand.
Not water that we can have a whole case of.
Why would I grab water? That's silly. Why wouldn't I grab the Monster?
So
that's Fireball.
The brief moment that we had in our mouths, what did you taste?
So I just tasted very heavy cinnamon, and then I had that familiar burn from whiskey, but it wasn't as potent.
So,
Which Fireball is made from Canadian whiskey traditionally. I don't know if it still is now that it's changed hands, but it was originally Canadian whiskey and cinnamon syrup. But now there's no telling what the fuck is in Fireball. Except alcohol.
So it's not a whiskey per se. Whiskey is a spirit. It is a liqueur or a schnapps.
It's not a whiskey anymore?
It was always marketed as a schnapps. So,
okay.
Because it's a schnapps, it has less alcohol. A whiskey would be just in itself a whiskey. It's not an infused. That's what would make it a cinnamon whiskey. It would be cinnamon infused whiskey. It's not infused. It's actually whiskey combined with sugars to make it less alcohol and dilute it, which makes it either a schnapps or a liqueur. I think there's a 30% change difference there. I think if it's under 30%, it's liqueur. If it's over 30%, it's a schnapps. And then beyond that...
And then when it hits 99, you get Rumpelmans. And that's just...
that's a schnapps still.
That's a bad time.
That's like the bare minimum schnapps before it's ever clear. No, that shit's fucking disgusting. So...
Yet we do it all the time.
So... That's the cinnamon wonderful. I mean, what you get is just Big Red. Like, that's what it comes down to. The hot tamales.
It literally tastes like Big Red gum. You're right.
Yeah. Your typical candy flavored or cinnamon flavored candy. Mm-hmm. Insert anything you can pick up gum or candy wise. It's gonna say cinnamon flavor. This is what you're gonna taste.
Yeah.
Just to have that extra burn because you're getting alcohol involved.
Yep.
I'm actually sweating from it already.
Friend of the pod and co-host of TB&J, Chris, he and I hung out. First time we really drank together. He killed an entire bottle of Fireball by himself. Excuse me, and was puking up like burning cinnamon shit all night. He can't have Fireball to this day.
It took me a couple years,
which is a good decision.
Yeah, it took me a couple years to get back able to drink it again. I remember the last time I had it like a couple years back at a Phillies game. I took it and immediately puked it back out, like no hesitation whatsoever.
Ugh.
Last Phillies game I went to too. So
no, you were at a Phillies game.
That's right. We were just at a Phillies game
a month ago.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about life being like semi-normal.
Just to date this podcast a little further.
Yeah, we're good at that. So
technically, we were at a Braves game. They just had me playing in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that makes it a Phillies game.
No, it makes it a Braves game.
Okay.
I know what I said.
All right, fair enough, asshole.
Sitting there in my blue jersey, like yay, and everyone around me's like fuck you, and I was like that Philadelphia warmth.
Yeah, we know how to treat our fans and our family and our anti-fans and family.
Throwing batteries at Santa Claus.
Classic John. Or classic Phillies.
Classic John?
I wasn't there.
You weren't born yet.
Oh, yeah.
It happened in the 60s.
Is it the 60s? I thought that was the 80s.
No, I'm pretty sure it happened in the 60s.
But either way, I wasn't born yet.
Yeah,
I was born in the 90s.
60s or 80s. You weren't there yet.
I am an idiot. All right, so the one thought I thought of was obviously cinnamon's the main flavor here, so that's where we're going to focus on this. And plus, it being like the fall-y time showing up and all the wonders.
It is autumn, almost.
Yeah, so we're going to stick with that kind of theme. So
we say it's literally like 94 degrees outside.
It's insanely hot
but
outside.
Autumn's knocking on our door.
It's around literally, I think legally, it's fall. Legally, like on paper, it's fall.
Legally, it's fall.
By law, it is fall. So the drink I made, here we go. So I immediately, obviously, whiskey had to be a part of it. I mean, like real whiskey. So I grabbed a bottle of Wiggle Pennsylvania-made rye whiskey. I added 2 ounces of that. And then I added...
So it is Wiggle. That
yes,
is the
I'm going with
Wiggle.
I'm sticking with Wiggle. Or Wigle. Wigle it's Wigle. Then I added an ounce of cinnamon syrup, which is super easy to make. It's just 1 part sugar, 1 part water. Add two or three cinnamon sticks in there. Let it heat up.
That's one of your like bartender tips is to never buy like a bottle of syrup.
Yes,
right?
never buy a bottle of syrup. Always make your own. They're gonna over sugar it, and you're not gonna get the consistency you want. I think most of the time, you want to control all your ingredients. It's just like making cocktails. You decide what goes in there. So there's like you never use spiced rum. You can spice your own rum, or you can just add spices to your cocktail to make it spiced. If you buy things that are pre-measured and pre-flavored, then you don't know what you're going to like. And you can adjust, especially with sugars. You can do whatever you want. You can do half a cup of sugar and 2 cups of water and make it the most unsweet, simple syrup in the world if that's what you prefer. Like you're not looking for a lot of sweetness. Or you just do half an ounce over an ounce. Like there's the ingredients you can play with. The idea of a cocktail is to enjoy it, not to follow standards of like what it's supposed to be made with. That being said, so...
That is a really fresh take on the idea. I've met so many like fuddy duddies that are like, no, an old fashioned has to be this, and you're coming from this completely different school of thought where it's like just make something you want to drink.
Yeah, like if old fashioned, I mean the ingredients are there, but fucking play with it. I mean the whole idea. Like one of my favorite things about cocktail making is just how much you can play with it. You can tickle it underneath. You can.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, but seriously, you can do whatever. So much fun with it. And like even if you make something
couple
shitty,
knuckles in the poop chute.
Exactly. Just 2 fingers in, 1 finger out. You go. Bloop, bloop,
and there goes the rocket. Just pop.
Oh Jesus Christ! So back to the drink. 1 ounce of cinnamon syrup. So that's how I made it. To already explain that. 1 ounce of cinnamon syrup, and then I use the peel of an orange. Just zest it over the cup. Throw it in there. Stir with ice, and then garnish with an apple, which I think is really nice. And then you could add like a cinnamon stick. I also thought about doing a cinnamon rim, kind of like a salted rim. Just thought there's a lot of cinnamon. The syrup should be enough for that.
That is a lot of cinnamon.
Exactly.
A little bit of cinnamon goes a long way.
Exactly. And I didn't add any bitters because I mean, what it comes down to is this is borderline an old fashioned. You add some bitters, it's an old fashioned, but the idea is that this is taking what Fireballs is and just making it more palatable and more sippable and more enjoyable. I think in the end.
Do you want me to put the apple in the drink?
No, it's just more there from the aroma.
Just there for the aroma
and for the aesthetic.
It does look very appealing sitting there on the rim of my glass.
Yeah, yours didn't get all flaccid like mine did. Yeah, that's not cute.
That's not cute at all, but this
that's cute. Yeah, I went out of my way to make yours cute.
Well, I appreciate it. And
well,
I'm sure my tummy will appreciate it.
I hope so.
It doesn't taste like shit, I hope.
Well, it smells delicious. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it yet. I've made like 3 different versions.
What is the bouquet like, John? Explain this to me. What does it smell like?
It smells like...
What does it smell like?
You get a lot of the cinnamon, but it's not straightforward, and I think it hides a lot of that whiskey, but I'm wondering the orange is really adding into that.
You're right. I do smell the cinnamon. It's not overpowering. There's certainly other things in there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't smell like Fireball.
No, at all. But I'm wondering what it's going to taste like, so I guess that's what that's...
I will say the ice cubes and the orange peel have made like a little smiley face in my glass.
It's adorable. It's like 2 dots with a smile. It's smiling at me.
My ADHD is completely derailed.
Because the little like white parts of the ice are like the pupils.
Yep.
Oh, shit. I should use clear ice next time. I don't know how to make that. Well, we'll talk about that.
You make it by not using tap water.
That's element number 1.
All right,
well,
shut up and drink. Okay. That was... Okay, it tastes like a more palatable old-fashioned. Listeners of the podcast will know that when I drank the old-fashioned, it was disgusting to me. It tasted like a marker, and it burned going down, and I hated it. And John was like, oh, it puts hair on your chest or something stupid. This tastes like that old-fashioned, but it doesn't have that burn. It goes down a hell of a lot smoother. I could actually see myself finishing my drink this time.
Oh, my God.
Instead of making you finish it after the podcast.
Oh, my Lord. So...
Yeah, oh, the light bulbs you bought just went out. That's cute.
That's reassuring. Okay. So, why I got weirder to film.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I would say, like this, it's my thing I liked about this, and one of the reasons like why I think Fireball's so hard is the cinnamon's just like right in the throat, punch in the face.
Absolutely.
This is more like a cinnamon like aftermath. Like you're getting a whiskey drink it's diluted on top of the fact that it's got the syrup in it, so it makes it sweeter, but you're getting that cinnamon flavor without it being like the main component. Mm-hmm. You're getting the whiskey if you like to drink whiskey, and on top of that, you're getting the like cinnamon aspect. I'm gonna burp. So the thing is, you're supposed to walk away from the mic. And the apple, I think I'm wondering if that's what helps the flavor, because it's like it was in my nose. It was really good in my nose actually. I preferred that. No, but I think
and that's just eat directly into the microphone. That's not disgusting or unnerving at all.
Let's just put it together. See what
Yeah, because you had the idea for the apple garnish because it's a cinnamon drink.
Yeah.
So why the fuck not put apples and cinnamon together?
And I feel like aesthetically it's very fall themed. It could really work. I mean, adding the apple kind of just made a chaos at this point. I'm making anarchy in my cup, which is what I do.
Anarchy in my cup. Why wasn't that the name of the podcast?
Why wasn't that the name of the... Fuck! Ooh, I broke the light with my voice.
It flashed when you screamed.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's really funny.
This is totally After Effects. I totally didn't do that.
Totally
It's not
not-
broken.
Yeah, it was planned.
Yeah. No, I think overall this is like a super, like, I'm like loving this. It's like just a cinnamony whiskey drink. And super just easy to make, and it's a super fall themed one. So like, if you're looking for an old fashioned, be a little more fall-y, and you're copying a little more cider-y, I don't know what I'm doing with my voice.
A little more autumn. You
Yeah.
want a little more like of the season's greetings in your glass. Go ahead and substitute in some Fireball.
So the one thing that you will see in the video, and I'm going to explain to you now, is the reason that makes it the Fireball is it's flammable. Cinnamon is super flammable.
Oh.
So what you do is you take a you can use an orange, I think would be best here, and you squeeze when you juice an orange, it sort of makes a little boat. Fill that with overproof and light that on fire. That gives you a little like floating flame, and then from there you literally just pour some cinnamon on top, and it creates like this trail of flames. It's super awesome.
Oh wow.
So you'll love to see that. Which is why you guys should go to the YouTube channel, which is Mark's Made Up Mixology. Yes, that's the name of it.
Mark's Made Up Mixology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm adding a universe to this.
This is news to me. All right. Well, thanks for keeping your.
This is just dead air because you have to look it up.
No, yeah. Here it is. I think. Is Made Up have a hyphen in the middle of it? Yeah,
Yes.
It does. You have a Damn It cover by Blink-182?
Yes, so your first thing you'll see is my sweet ass Damn It cover. It was a dedication to the Mark Hoppus getting cancer. Really sad. So, also, how about that new theme song I totally recorded? You totally guys heard.
absolutely.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Absolutely, it was.
I totally didn't just record it after this podcast and definitely recorded it before the podcast.
Sound like a fucking supervillain, but no. No, yeah, the new theme song is great, and I can't believe you threw in all those like drum effects and that ukulele solo was just perfect.
I need you to stop hyping me up. I can't do these things. I can't promise these things. Preemptively ruining my life.
Final thoughts. How do you think you did on this?
I think overall, I like the drink. I think it's very easy to drink. I think it's subtle, too, which I think is the main thing about it.
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
It doesn't punch you in the face with the Fireball like every other Fireball drink I've ever had does. Like, I can't tell you how many shitty Fireball drinks I've had, and they're like, you can hardly tell it's there, and it's like overpoweringly there.
And that's the thing, and I think a rye really worked. Also, I smoked a glass. I didn't talk about how I smoked a glass. I smoked a glass.
We went to Home Depot, we got some wood, and
some cedar wood.
You burned it and smoked the glass.
Yeah, so what you do is you light the wood on fire, you put the glass over the flame, and as it goes out, when the smoke goes on, and you seal the smoke within the glass. As it sits, it sort of swirls around and creates a sort of smoky aftertaste. These have been sitting, so you kind of lose it, unfortunately, in this. But when you guys make it at home, like, it's 100% what's going to happen. It creates, like, this really cool, like, just kind of, like, smokiness. You could also just... guess you can use a Scotch, which is naturally smoky, and a rye has a more smoky flavor.
Yeah, I suppose you could do that.
But overall, I think this is...
If you feel like going the extra mile and putting in a lot more labor than necessary, then sure, go ahead and get some wood shims from Home Depot and make some smoky.
Like, back to the way I was saying, though, this is the part of the fun of making cocktails, just these creative things that you find. And, like, smoking, I actually remember being in Nashville where the Fireball got big. We found a whiskey bar, and I watched her do it, and she had a cherry wood that she had just like specifically for smoking glasses because they sold an Old Smoky rye that they had. It's infused.
Oh.
Yeah, not Old Smoky. Old Smoky is a brand. They had a rye that
I know
was
what you meant.
double or triple smoked rye. So they had different smokes infused within the rye.
Nice.
But it was really cool because I watched her do it because she takes a torch and just burns the thing and then puts the glass right on top of it, and you watch the smoke kind of inhale it. So I was like, I want to see that. Like, that's awesome. I want to mess with that. Also, love fire, and I want to use this cocktail as many excuses as possible, light it on fire. So that's what the smokiness came from.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And now the other thing, if you want to do the cinnamon rim, because let's say you're more of a cinnamon fan, you can do that. You just take an orange peel and just go around the rim, and then just dip it, or I'm sorry, make sure it's an empty glass. Reiterate. Take an orange peel, go around the rim, and then just like a salted rim with margarita, you just take like a plate full of like cinnamon and just kind of twist it on there.
Yeah.
Make sure when you are doing that, you rim the outside and not the inside. You don't want it to fall into your drink because that adds the flavor and messes with the flavor. This is meant for more of an aroma and for like an extra kick while you're sipping. It shouldn't be something that's added to the drink because then it unbalances some stuff.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I think just to think about. But you can like garnishes are so much fun, and there's so many different flavors here. You can garnish with an orange. You can do the apple like we did. You can do the cinnamon rim. Like you can really mess with it. I think this is such an easy and fun customizable drink.
Cinnamon rim sounds like a ska band.
Cinnamon rim. Cinnamon rim.
That sounds like a fucking ska
Cinnamon
band
rim
from
job.
the late 90s. Cinnamon rim job.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, man. So many good ideas in this podcast.
Get up. So, I should start a ska band. It should be the Cinnamon Rim Jobs.
You do not have a ska band already? I mean, that's the impression I get.
Oh, ha! Knock on wood.
Thank you.
You see, because the song is...
Yeah, it's
the fucking song. So
right.
Fireball happened.
As the resident bitch of the group, I do enjoy this drink.
Yeah, I think overall it's
There's
like
a chance
really,
I'll finish it.
really enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to finish it. That's just obligation. Now this season we don't
finish everything.
I do. Oh, I finish all the time.
Mm.
So the one thing I can't do on this podcast or this season, it's gonna be as chaotic because I'm not making multiple cocktails that I combine at the end and then chug that shit and I'm like, oh, gasoline's delicious. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't. You can't see that reaction of nausea and heartburn, ingestion, upset diarrhea. Hey, Pepto-Bismol, how you doing?
You just had that in your head ready to go.
Sorry.
Just locked and loaded. Get the weirdest shit up there. And then when it comes to important stuff like bills and responsibilities, you're like, whoop. No, you're fine, John. You're a mess.
It's kind of chunky.
I
got like chunks of. Oh, you know what it is? Because I got my apple falling apart in here.
I was gonna say I don't have chunks. That's just your apple.
So, any improvements, any suggestions you think that would be good for this?
This drink is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
As far as like improving something that's objectively shitty, this is a really good way to go. And it's not, if you take out the over the top things you did, like smoking the glass and the apple garnish, it's real easy to put together.
Yeah. And that's the thing about an old fashioned, and one of the main reasons
awesome.
why. Yeah, one of the best things about an old fashioned is it's such an easy manipulative drink that you change so an old fashioned, as we talked about before, is a whiskey, a syrup, and a bitters. So you just switch out that syrup with any flavored syrup. Let's make it raspberry. Let's make it strawberry. Let's make it blueberry. All super easy to make. Just punch that wall. And then the whiskey you pick, whatever whiskey. I use rye. I mean, you're supposed to use a bourbon, but fucking who cares? It's whiskey.
As long as it's brown.
Yeah, and then the bitters, you want bitter to contrast the sugar and the sweetness, and that's probably why you like this so much. But like, I don't know. I mean, fucking just add. There's orange bitters. There's lavender bitters that I like to use for my Negronis. There's the just regular Angostura bitters. There's flavored bitters that you can use. I think orange would be really good in this. I didn't want to make it too much of an old fashioned though, so that's kind of my biggest thing why I stay away from the bitters. Maybe that would have been better. I don't really know. I'm not going to.
No, because without the bitters, I feel like this is a drink of your own creation. I feel like substituting Fireball into an old fashioned is something that's already been done. And probably been done by tons of people before.
Yeah.
This way you make it yours.
Yeah, mild. I mean, like, and that's the thing. Like it's so fun to play with. So it's fun to play with, not to eat. Just like Play-Doh and my penis.
Oh no! don't make it weirder than it has to be.
I'm contractually obligated to make it weirder than it has to be.
No, that's Pete Holmes' podcast.
Weirder than it has to be.
You made it weird.
No, that's good. That's actually good.
The name of his podcast.
We should just get him on here. I think he would definitely.
Dude, I would give my left nut to get Pete Holmes on your chair.
He's. Oh wait, on my chair. Oh, but that takes away from me.
You can sit in the guest chair.
Oh, that's.
And you can have the shitty guest mic that I have.
Where's the guest mic? I'm gonna use that instead of this now. Oh man. So I don't know. I mean, anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. This drink is fucking delicious. Like it's absolutely like normally you make a drink and I think it's disgusting unless you overload it with sugar. This is a nice balance. I don't hate it. It doesn't burn going down, and it's good. Yeah. It's actually good.
All right. Any other interesting facts about Fireball?
Interesting facts about Fireball. Did you know how many fucking cocktails you can make with Fireball? Like, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Angry Balls, which is Angry Orchard, and Fireball. That's like a bar standard, I think.
If you put it in an Irish coffee, you get a fire starter coffee.
Okay.
You can put it in a hot toddy to make a hotter toddy.
Oh, I get it, because it's fake whiskey.
You can put it in with a regular hard cider that isn't Orchard, and you'll get a cider ball.
So I'm like, again, all these drinks, you think about it now, it replaced that with real whiskey and fucking cinnamon syrup, and like I think you can balance that way better. So a hotter toddy would be good with just cinnamon syrup and regular whiskey.
Exactly.
Than it would be with adding Fireball.
Yes.
So this is like where I come down to like, don't get pre-made shit. Like make your own shit. It's not complicated. Syrups are super fucking easy to make. Orgeat apparently is really easy to make. Orgeat, Orgeat. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Orgeat.
It's pronounced chimera.
Oh wow! Holy shit! That was chimera. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like I would say the Orgeat Armani
Can you spell that word for me?
Orgeat.
Okay. So how is it pronounced?
Orgeat. I think it's Orgeat.
Keep vamping.
I think it's definitely Orgeat. I'm gonna stick with Orgeat. But it's an almond syrup basically. But it's got a lot of it's got like molasses and shit in it. There's a guy on YouTube, Steve the bartender, who gives you a DIY on how to do it cheap without getting all the fancy ingredients. He does a great job explaining how to do it. I was gonna follow that recipe, but it was a little complicated. But like an almond syrup, grenadine is so much better homemade. I make a grenadine. It's with pomegranate.
You're right. It's Arget.
Arget, yeah. So I think just making your homemade stuff, like, and if you do have to get a store bought, like, at least go to like a decent place to get it. Don't go to like fucking. I mean, I guess maybe like a Giant's not too bad. There's just places that like, I don't know, like a Walmart. Don't get any of your mixers from Walmart. Don't get your mixers from the mixer section of the store.
Yeah, like the Master of Mixes things, or like those cocktail bottles where it's like, oh, it's a zombie in a bottle.
Yeah, like it
just add rum.
Exactly, and that, I mean, if you like that, then good for you. I'm not gonna talk shit on that. I'm just saying, like, it just
all you're getting is like a flavored corn syrup.
Yeah,
and you're not actually going to get and appreciate the flavors that go into a mixed drink.
Exactly. Look at lime juice. Now look at lime juice sold as lime juice, like, or lime syrup or whatever the hell it is. You'll see that it's got so many, like, it should be lime squeeze done, but it's not sometimes. Even like oh my god, sweet and sour mix. It's literally just simple syrup, lemon juice, lime juice. If there's anything more in the ingredients, it's already wrong. Like, you're doing it wrong. It's so easy to make your homemade margarita.
I love the sweet and sour mix that comes in like a powder. And I'm just like, what? What are you doing? Why is it a powder?
There's a powdered whiskey sour, which whiskey sour requires egg white, and you just add whiskey sour powder mix to it, and then it's a whiskey sour. And that's like it's been a thing since the 70s apparently, and that blew my mind. I didn't know that existed. I made my first whiskey sour while I was in the mountains. With an egg white, I shook my own egg white. The whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Because when you shake an egg white, you have to shake it, emulsify it with dry shaking. So I did that for the first time. And the shaker we had it wasn't sturdy. And because there's no ice to seal, it just started spouting out everywhere. So I had to really hold it. So fun fact for when we ever do a whiskey sour, that shit's chaotic.
Yikes.
Yeah, because shaking with an egg white, you can't do it with ice first because it's an emulsifying. And basically, I think it scrambles the egg or it does something with the egg where it separates too quickly.
It does something.
Yeah, it definitely does something.
It definitely does something.
I'm glad you're here, man.
If you put Fireball in hot chocolate, you can get a drunken dessert, which I feel like you can put anything in hot chocolate to just make it.
So think about Irish coffee, and I think about Irish hot chocolate. You know what I mean? Just whiskey and hot chocolate.
And you put a mint liqueur in hot chocolate, and they call it like a hot Girl Scout or a frozen Girl Scout if you blend it with ice.
Then there's the dirty Girl Scout, which is when you someone does a shot of peppermint schnapps and they squirt chocolate syrup into their mouth while they're on their knees. Yeah, that's a dirty Girl Scout.
That's disgusting.
It's also disgusting because Girl Scouts are usually between the ages of 9 and 12. So
there is one that interests me.
If you sexualize Girl Scouts, you're sick.
Jesus Christ. There's the drink made with Fireball called the Ultimate French Toast Shot. You're supposed to use a butterscotch liqueur and a Bailey's Irish cream. And it's a third of each, and you have a French toast shot.
I could see that actually being pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's the only one on this list that seems like. And then of course put it with Red Bull, and you get just an F-bomb, which fucking.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, you take any spirit, put it with Red Bull, it's got a name.
Yeah, it's a bomb. It's 9 times 10.
Yeah, and I'm just what? Even if they don't make it as a bomb, they just call it a bomb.
Yeah.
There are plenty of bars in this neighborhood. I can walk in and order a Red Bull bomb, and they'll just give me a Red Bull and vodka.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's not a bomb.
If you order a cherry bomb, they're gonna give you a Red Bull, cherry vodka and Red Bull.
Exactly,
and it's not. They're not.
That's
giving
not
you
a bomb.
Yeah,
but
bomb would be
that's what it gets called now when you put Red Bull in it.
Yeah,
is either a trash can or a bomb.
Yeah, and that's not how you... Like, a trash can would make more sense because you put shit in a trash can, and then
the whole can is in there. Yeah.
Exactly, that makes sense.
Trash can should be on this season.
That would be a good one. We'll discuss more. I mean, this is the first one that I thought was an easy transition.
So many things in a trash can, though. Oh
or the sorry, the mind eraser.
Oh God, yeah.
That's a bad one. Green tea shot.
We need to do the actual mind eraser from Simpsons that Homer took to erase his memory.
Oh, that was the... I know what you're talking about.
Mo made it, and he put like the white strip of
Greg from
Aquafresh.
How to Drink already made it.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. Someone beat us to it already. Yeah,
I'm sure Simpsons has been around for fucking 40 years.
He did that, and he did the Flaming Mo as well. He already did like all of the Simpsons drinks, unfortunately. He hasn't done the Dishonored drink. We still have to talk about doing Dishonored drink.
Yes, we should do the Dishonored drink.
I agree.
We'll do like a pop culture season. That could be like season 3 or 4.
That would be good. Because that's one that I've seen people do already. So like they get away from it. I was like thinking, but this one's interesting. So we'll do... I like the idea of mind eraser. We'll talk. Well, next episode, it's going to be something
meeting.
stupid. Yeah, this is how we do podcasts, where we talk about what we're going to do and not actually talk about it.
Because we don't talk about the podcast unless we're sitting in the chairs.
Yeah, it's literally so true. We're so bad at this. That apple, by the way, is already getting brown as shit.
Yeah,
apples do not hold their color once cut open.
No,
the skin of the apple is the real fucking toughest bitch.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, just make the black box on an airplane out of apple skin. It'll probably last forever.
I'm learning so much. Even though I cut that shit in like 3 seconds. Oh, I'm drooling. Yay.
Do you have any more final thoughts? Final thoughts for the fans, the listeners?
Yeah. So
the comment leavers.
If you got whatever drink you're drinking out there, like whatever, if you think this is like a fucking fantastic drink, you want us to try it out, we'll definitely try it out. If you think that you can make my drinks better, then you're probably right. But I mean, hey, just have fun with it. And especially college drinks, any drinks that you drank when you were in the college parties and those fucking crammed ass house parties where you sat against the wall and no one talked to you, and you were like, wow, I was here with one of my friends, but my friend never showed up, and then you were really sad, and then you were like, let me talk to a girl, because I can do that, right? And then you walk up to a girl, you definitely didn't talk to the girl, because you had no idea what you were doing, you went back to the corner, and everyone was kind of weirded out by you, but no one really talked to you either, because they didn't really acknowledge it, because they were too busy trying to do their thing. And then you still beer pong was happening, you're like, I like to play beer pong, and you go up to the table, and you kind of stay next table, hoping someone will invite you to play, but you're not actually going to acknowledge yourself.
So you can share all of your drink ideas, etc. At jbombsjmoms@gmail.com, or leave a comment on the YouTube section of the videos, because John is going to look at those. He has assumed the mantle of social media. Good on you, buddy. Good job.
I hate social media.
Yeah.
So YouTube, it's Mark's Made Up Mixology.
MARK'S Made Up Mixology.
Yes, it's I'll have a link tree and everything set up on our Twitter, which we have. I swear to God, we do.
Oh my God, you're sounding like an actual podcast host over there.
What's our Twitter? What's our Twiddle handle? Twiddle handle?
Twiddle handle?
Twiddle handle.
I thought it was
it's J_cocktails.bombs.
Is it?
No, it's something stupid. I think it's J_bombs or JW bombs.
We'll leave it in the description of the
Buzzsprouts or whatever. In the video, that's right. We have videos
now. Podcast.
Yeah, we have videos now, guys.
We'll put it in the description so you guys can check it out and follow us to find out what we're doing and talk to us if you want. I guess we get lonely sometimes.
We're so sad. We're so sad and lonely.
Speaking of college parties, though, one final story before we go, because I knew a guy who was in a fraternity in college at Temple in the city, and he hosted the big party coming back for the new semester. And he invited everybody, and like their parents came. It was like a very family-friendly-ish party. And everybody came and brought alcohol. People were bringing like very expensive bottles of scotch. People were bringing bottles of wine. People brought 6-packs, whatever. And he would take it and very genuinely, from the bottom of his heart, thank you so much. This is amazing. And then dump it into a giant glass bowl.
Oh God, you've mentioned this before, yeah. And then it's like
everything that people brought, every scotch, every vodka, every wine, every beer, everything that came through that door went in this bowl.
That's fucking disgusting.
And nobody would touch it.
Obviously, I would drink the shit out of that
until all the beer that was at the frat house ran out. And then people were eyeballing it, and then it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, I guess we gotta drink the bowl. And they did, and I know people from that party, nobody can remember what happened after like 2 a.m. It completely like erased everyone's minds that night.
That's fantastic. Oh my God, that's like another one, Jungle Juice. That's like basically what that is.
It's just, pretty much Jungle Juice, but
worse. It's
worse.
Jungle Juice with no structure.
I know for a fact one kid's dad brought over like a fucking $150 bottle of Johnny Walker, and that ended up in the bowl. and then another kid brought over like a 20-pack of Natty Lights, and it was one pledge's job to just keep cracking them open and pouring them in the bowl. So I can't just those two alone. I can't imagine that in my stomach.
Yeah, that flavor
I'm puking already.
Yeah, I would drink it. I mean, based off what
you
I used
literally
to finish
drink
people's drinks at the end of the party because I was just like, well, I still want to get drunk, so.
Yeah, and then COVID happened.
Yeah, and now I still did it.
Super spreader event right there. Let me just drink from everyone's glasses.
You're welcome, boys.
All right, so that was it for today's episode of the Fireball remade. And to your credit, you did a great fucking job, bud.
All right, so to all my fans and family out there, I want to say, I don't like you guys. You smell like poop.
And this is where the ending song will go, and it'll go over me talking about it so that you don't hear me talking about it.
I like it, and you like the really.